Good evening and welcome to Channel 8 Sports and East Brunswick High School Soccer. Hi, I'm John Meggiolaro, being joined once again by Jim Allinder as we open up the girls' 1988 season. And Jim, it should be a good one tonight. East Brunswick opens up against Cedar Ridge. They come in as defending two-time Group 4 state champions, yet it's a team that is different from what we're used to seeing out here.
You're right. That's precisely what was in my mind when I was thinking about, how do we characterize this East Brunswick team this year? You mentioned they were two-time defending state Group 4 champions, and primary reason is because they could overpower other teams. They scored. We all recall Lisa Gagno, who had graduated this past year, holds the single season scoring mark of 50 goals, career-wise 112 goals. There's no way you replace anybody of that caliber. So East Brunswick's going to do things a little bit differently this year. The heir apparent to Lisa as far as the person that East Brunswick is going to look for this year is Leanne Swartz. Leanne played alongside, but she was the one that used to pass the ball to Lisa. This year it's going to be a little different story. Leanne probably is going to be more on the receiving end of a lot of passes. Just quickly, a little incident. Lou was telling me that they were playing during the summer at the Rutgers camp, and Leanne had an opportunity to shoot the ball, and she passed it off, and Lou Cosa just came to a halt. He said, let's stop this. Leanne, that was last year. This is a new year. And that, in many respects, is new for East Brunswick. It is a new year. They're not going to do it with power as they had in the past. They may have to finesse against the quality teams this year.
Interesting. Talking with Lou Cosa before the game this evening, he mentioned to me the fact that they're having trouble scoring in their scrimmages. They're penetrating well, but they're not getting the goals. So it'll be interesting to see whether, in fact, against a much improved Cedar Ridge team, they will be able to get those goals and get them early.
Exactly.
Well, okay, then. Let's get ready for the season opener here at J. Doyle Field. East Brunswick High against Cedar Ridge in girls soccer. And we'll be right back with the action. All right, Jim, we're about ready to get underway here, and I know that you have the starting lineup, so I'll give way to you for a moment.
Yeah, and I'm going to give an attempt on a couple of these because we have some interesting pronunciations. First, for defending State Group 4 champions East Brunswick, the home team tonight, of course. The front line will feature Kerry Myers, number 31, and we mentioned Leanne Swartz, number 27. The middle line will be Leanne Mitzner, 30, Randy Klein, number 44, Lauren Korf, number 40, and Lauren DeRugo, number 28. And the defense will feature Chris Farrell, number 36, along with Ang Nyan, number 32, Sarah Bishop, number 35. On the back will be Caddy Gillihan, number 38, and Amy Gorney, the veteran goaltender, will be back there tonight. For Cedar Ridge, their starting lineup will feature on the front line Laura Daltiero. She'll be right wing. Center striker will be 7, Kelly Connolly. By the way, Daltiero's number 2. Karen Zebron, number 16, left wing. Maria Masciarello, number 3 at right half. Center half will feature Jody Good, number 14. Number 11, Jennifer Hahn, left half back. Stopper will be Geraldine Shea, number 6. Addie Spinola, number 5, left fullback. Sweeper Robin Wortman, number 10. Janet Brooks, number 18, will be the right fullback. And starting in goal for Cedar Ridge will be Karen Robertson.
Thanks, Jim. And as we said, this is the opening of the season, the 1988 season for the Lady Bears. They were and are two-time defending state girls champion.
Right. Cedar Ridge, by the way, comes in with a 6-6 record, coached by Jenny Murphy in her second year and assisted by Sue Klein, who is also in her second year.
Okay, Jim, in talking with Lou Cosa, he mentioned the fact that the majority of his games this year will be in the GMC, and that the GMC is a much improved division in terms of girls soccer.
Well, I think it's a matter, John, of teams catching up with East Brunswick. East Brunswick has always had a quality program, and as evidenced by the number of people that are, as you can see on the field tonight for East Brunswick, they're deep. And I think that's where they're going to have an advantage over the rest of the conference. Lou Cosa, the veteran coach now, mentions North Brunswick, who is not in the red division, by the way. They're in the white division as a chief competitor, along with Madison Central. Madison Central should have a good program this year, and they are from Old Bridge, as is Cedar Ridge. So you're right, John, in the respect that East Brunswick can't expect to simply just walk away from its opponents in the red division of the GMC, and in fact in the GMC tournament.
Okay, we're going to have the national anthem, and so we'll pause a moment.
Enthusiastic team we see there on the screen, John.
Well, the fall season is here.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this year. I don't know how you feel about it, but obviously not only we have the girls tonight, but the boys soccer team. We'll be seeing them a few times this year. Of course, the football season will be coming up this couple days from now.
And we'll also be showing boys and girls gymnastics. So a full array, if you will, here on Channel 8, covering East Brunswick High School fall season.
John, I think we ought to mention from the top that we have a new acting athletic director for East Brunswick this year. Frank Knoppenberger will be taking over for Charlie King, who moves to acting principal. James Sharon is on sabbatical, I believe. So a couple of moves at the top, and I'll tell you what, we've had so much excellent cooperation with Charlie King, and I know Frank Knoppenberger, the basketball coach, who, by the way, steps down from that position. There's going to be all kinds of changes this year. I guess we're about ready to begin, John.
Okay. Looks like the Lady Bears will put the ball in action first. They're in the dark green, the home green. They'll be moving left to right on your screen. Cedar Ridge is in the white. And we're just about ready to get this season underway. And here we go.
Be interesting to see how East Brunswick starts.
Bears looking to penetrate quickly, but good defense so far by Cedar Ridge. As we mentioned, Coach Kosa has noted that his team has had a little trouble getting the ball in the goal, although they have penetrated well in the preseason, if you will. Good pass for the wing. Shot, and it stopped.
That was by Mitzner, the left wing. And I think Kosa was talking about the fact that East Brunswick had some trouble penetrating and getting off shots. That was against Morris Knowles, and I think Lou has a little thing up his sleeve.
Jim, why we have a moment here as East Brunswick again looking to get something going here. Shot outside by Klein. It's wide.
That was a nice save by the goaltender.
There has been one rule change for this year, and it has to do with the throw-ins. And maybe we should point that out now, as East Brunswick will have a corner kick.
Well, the rule very simply states that whereas the player throwing it in used to sometimes move upfield to get an advantage, that no longer is available. They have to throw it in from the specified area that the referee points to. And you may see that rule abused tonight.
All right, Mitzner with the corner kick off the goal.
She's going to get another shot.
Ball is still in play. And Cedar Ridge will go on the offensive. First period action, no score. East Brunswick Cedar Ridge at J. Doyle Field. Beautiful evening. And not a bad crowd coming in.
Yeah, well, these are the defending state Group 4 champions. I think they deserve the respect of a good crowd.
Cedar Ridge trying to cross midfield. They do for the first time.
And East Brunswick not afraid to play up front. Even the stoppers are just hugging the midfield line here, just daring Cedar Ridge to penetrate.
So far, it's been all East Brunswick. Cedar Ridge has yet to put on any sort of threat or mount any threat. It'll be a throw in for the Bears. And here's where that rule comes into effect. Klein, she'll send it down toward the goal. No one there, and Robertson will field it. Field is in excellent shape, Jim.
Yeah, I was walking on the field before the game, John. They, as the East Brunswick crew does every year, they get this field in fine shape, and they use it for boys and girls soccer night games. Obviously, the football's played here, and it's in just tremendous shape this year.
East Brunswick will have a throw in. Mitzner deep in Cedar Ridge territory. And Jim, you just have a feeling something's got to break for East Brunswick. I mean, they've been down in that end for close to 4 minutes now.
Sure, all they need to do is just keep the pressure up here, and pretty soon a pass is going to click. Swartz is just sort of hugging this, the middle, just waiting for that lead pass.
Cedar Ridge would throw it in. East Brunswick back on the defense.
That's Mascheriola on the throw-in.
Cedar Ridge having trouble getting that ball out of their own end.
I credit that to East Brunswick's
sure.
pressure.
Good hustle. Chris Farrell, number 36 for East Brunswick. And Caddy Gilliland doing a fine job back there. And East Brunswick once again on the move.
There's Swartz open for the shot.
Shot, goal, East Brunswick. And they're on the board for 1988 with 15-17 to go in the first period.
Well, you said it, John. It wouldn't take long before Leon Swartz, in particular, would find that opening on the lead pass, and she just dribbled very nicely around the defender and got the shot past the goaltender, Karen Robertson. First of what I expect to be many, many goals for Leanne this year. Again, she's going to take up the scoring slack by the graduated Lisa Gagno.
And as you said in the pregame, Jim, Lou Cosa wants her to take that position. He wants her to shoot.
Interesting, we haven't seen too much substituting by East Brunswick so far, but Lou Cosa is one with the depth that he has on his team to do some substituting very freely. So we'll try to keep our eyes on who's going in and who's going out.
Cedar Ridge unable to take advantage of the kickoff there. You got to be impressed with the way East Brunswick moves the ball. They're passing very well. Again, this being the first game of the season.
That's what Lou Cosa, when I talked to him earlier this before the season started, I asked him, Lou, what is the single strongest element of this team? And he says their ability to pass. And so we're seeing it right here. That pass to, well, there's Swartz starting to break again.
Shot on goal. Robertson will field it.
So watch for a very strong passing game by the Bears. Now you see there, that was an interesting thing. I was just watching that throw, and there was probably your first abuse of that rule. So it's going to be interesting to see how the referees interpret what that space is that a player is allowed to move from or deviate from on the throw-in. As Lou was explaining, it was simply he just took one stride, and it seemed to be about 1 yard.
Well, it's the first game for officials, too. East Brunswick looking to add to their lead.
Good play by the fullback for East Brunswick to hustle up. That being 35, Sarah Bissop. She's impressed me so far. John, she seems to be in the action there.
I'll tell you, I'm very impressed thus far. I know we've only been into the game about 7 minutes, but I'm very impressed with East Brunswick's hustle and their tenacity. They're showing great ball control. And quite honestly, Jim, it looks like 1987's team out there. Cedar Ridge now trying to get something going.
It's about as far as they've penetrated the entire game here, up to the goal line. But watch how East Brunswick spaces itself. You don't see players clumped together, and that's a good sign of organization.
I'll tell you one thing that has surprised me too thus far is East Brunswick's speed. I think they're a much quicker club out here tonight.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages that they have. They're very well conditioned athletes. I think the success of having won state titles in consecutive years has stimulated the interest in a lot of the younger players that are coming up to the point that they're becoming very serious in their approach to conditioning. And so you have a good conditioned team out here.
And Jim, there's that rule in effect. Referee Nick Hunter just called it on Cedar Ridge.
Okay.
A throw and it goes over to East Brunswick.
Should be East Brunswick ball.
And we want to point out that the East Brunswick High School varsity cheerleaders are here to spur on the Lady Bears. We have 11:52 to go here in the first period. East Brunswick on top, 1-0 on a goal by Leanne Swartz. It came at 15-17 of the first period.
And looks like a little bit of an injury right there. Cedar Ridge player took that perhaps right in the face. A little stunned by that.
And you see Phil Hostler, the East Brunswick trainer, down on the field. And Phil is at every game. I think Phil keeps a cot in the trainer's office, quite honestly.
Very, very dedicated trainer and one of the innovators, if you will, in promoting athletic training in the state of New Jersey.
Injured for Cedar Ridge was Maria
Masciarola.
Masciarola.
Masciarola, good enough.
But she's back up on her feet, and that's a good sign. So play resumes. East Brunswick trying to penetrate, as now the action has moved somewhat down to the East Brunswick side.
And the first time, our goaltender,
Amy Gorney.
Nice kick.
Leanne just over her head. Cedar Ridge doesn't appear to be setting any type of play up. They're just really kicking it down.
I think they just need to generate a little bit of offense, get their confidence up, get a couple shots on goal. Still Cedar Ridge ball.
Throw in. Good defense by the Bears. Could be a shot here for Cedar Ridge. Blocked.
Good save there by number 38.
And that was
Bears.
Katie Gilliland.
Yep. Really the first shot on goal. And I'm not sure that it's even going to be credited as a shot on goal since it was stopped by the fullback.
Corner kick, and as soon as someone from Cedar Ridge gets over there, we'll get the ball going.
I think the ball boy was going to take it. Well, they certainly are taking their time, aren't they, with a running clock?
Maybe that's the strategy. Keep it to a 1-0 game. Here's the corner.
Oh, that's a nice kick.
Nice one. Good defense by the Bears.
That was a quality corner kick there.
They've got a break going, 3-on-2.
Well, Leon's going to take off. There she goes. And it's blocked, right?
Good defense. And I think a push is going to be called. It is. It's going to be called against Macchiarola.
That was on DeRugo. We have to get that pronunciation straight. We've been calling her Diarujo last year.
Lou Costa told me it's the Rougeau, and you'll be safe. So.
Nice hustle by Lauren.
Cedar Ridge playing somewhat better now. Inside of 10 minutes left in the period. Shot on goal, number 16 for Cedar Ridge, Karen Zebram, but it's wide. And mass substitutions now for the Bears.
You know, when we look at the final statistics and look at shots on goal, which we hope to have available, that was not a shot on goal simply because it wasn't on the net. That's been a bone of contention with me as far as truly showing, you know, having shots on goal or on net as being the gauge for offense. Right there, Cedar Ridge showed something. They were able to get a shot off, yet it'll not go down in the book as a as a statistic or a shot on goal. I think a good gauge for determining whether the team is effective or not is time in the offensive zone, John. And so far, East Brunswick has the advantage.
Leanne Schwartz. Decline.
It's 39 for East Brunswick.
That was Amy Meckelberg with the hustling play.
So Amy's, I'm sorry, John, that's 36 for East Brunswick. Chris Farrell. Thought Amy snuck in on us.
Down to 7:32 now. First period, East Brunswick on top, 1-0. Season opener against Cedar Ridge.
Here's a chance.
Almost a mistake. Robertson picks it up. Coming hard was number 34 for East Brunswick, Lori Samato. And play quickly resumes.
Oh, very nice recovery by the East Brunswick defender. That was Nyan.
And a penalty call, and East Brunswick will take over. So the action's quite crisp here for a first game.
You mentioned it before, but these are gorgeous conditions for a game.
Quite honestly, we've been quite fortunate with all our programs outdoor in terms of the weather. I hope I'm not jinxing
Yeah, I
us
was
for
going to
this
say,
year.
why did you say that? Producer Dave Ambrosi just knocked on wood.
Jim, it looks as though Cedar Ridge's defense has tightened up a bit.
A little bit. I'm not sure East Brunswick slacked off on that after getting that goal or what.
Well, the score is only 1-0, so there's no reason to relax at this point. Plenty of soccer time to go yet.
Amy Gorney has a nice foot.
And Amy will pick it up.
Almost to midfield.
Some football teams could use her,
I'll say.
like the Giants.
Ooh, almost a chance here.
And they're going to call an offside.
And I'm not sure I agree with that call, John. From this perspective up here, it looks like when the pass was shot, Leanne Schwartz was still onside. But we're up here. Referee's down there. Yeah, I think the Bears are going to try to pick it up a little bit more here because here's another give and go.
Good defensive play there by the Cedar Ridge player.
Schwartz still there.
Robertson. And we'll go the other way with it. Down to 4:25, first period. East Brunswick on top, 1-0. Bears are in the dark green. Possibility here. Nope.
Just a casual observation, John. East Brunswick did score on that shot by Schwartz, but thus far I just think they're a little tentative. They're getting the ball into the offensive zone, but when the pass has been there, it doesn't seem like the East Brunswick forwards have been there to collect the pass and go for a shot. Just the timing seems to be off just a little bit.
And I think this was what Coach Cosa was alluding to. Great passing game, but that aggressive penetration is not there yet. And some substitutions for the Lady Bears. Going in is number 40, Lauren Korp, and number 31, that's Kerry Myers. And again, we'll try to keep you updated as players go in and out. And they're going to call a push by Cedar Ridge. Jimmy, you mentioned Madison Central, and I assume you mean that they might be East Brunswick's toughest competition in the GMC Red.
Well, according to Cosa, then since Madison is the Red Division opponent, that would be the case. Madison and East Brunswick both are beneficiaries of excellent recreation programs. A lot of the girls that you see on the field tonight got their start about 7-8 years ago, playing in these little junior leagues in the townships and being members of traveling squads, and this is where they develop their skills.
Quite honestly, we've been going back and forth across midfield, but no serious action taking part by either team. We're down to 2 minutes.
And East Brunswick still holding the 1-0 lead.
Let's see if they'll try to apply some pressure before the end of the quarter.
Now here's a chance here. There's a 3-on-2, but just stopped.
No call. It looked like a handball. And a Bears defense there.
That's Sarah Bishop again.
Good play again by Bishop.
And we have a corner there?
I believe so.
Okay, corner kick for Cedar Ridge. That's their second. East Brunswick, I believe, has one corner kick.
Yes.
And I'm not sure who's taking this corner kick, but if it's the same one, number 14 for Cedar Ridge. Okay, that would be Jody Good. Last time, she got off a very nice kick. Landed right smack in the middle of the goal. And that's the best place because you can mix it up. Another nice one.
Another nice. And a nice play by Gorney.
Exactly. Had to be poked out of there.
Good defense.
A nice loose ball like that is exactly what you want for goal scoring opportunity.
Down to 17 seconds. So it would appear East Brunswick will end this first period of 1988 on top 1-0. And that should do it. So at the end of one period of play, it's East Brunswick 1, Cedar Ridge 0, and they'll switch sides. And while we have a moment, I do want to welcome Diane Geiger to our broadcast team. Diane is working the camera this evening, and she'll be doing a few of our fall sports this season.
Okay. I'm looking for my notes that I took in which Lou talked about the players from a couple of years ago as to where they're going. I understand that Lori Feller, I think she's at Barnard College. Or no, I'm sorry, that's Sue Kerr.
Sue Kerr.
Okay. Of course, Lisa Gagno, the scorer from last year, she has hooked on with Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas. and as I understand is first substitute to go in. So as a freshman, making an impact on a major college like that, that says something about the quality of the player that she is. And let's see. Okay, Lori is at, I believe, I'm sorry, I can't read my writing. Amy Graff is at the University of Rhode Island. Sue Kerr is at Barnard College. And as we mentioned, that Lisa Gagno is playing at SMU. And I'll try to interpret what I've written about Lori Feller. Apologize for that.
Anyway, East Brunswick getting ready to come out for the second period.
Should mention the boys opened their season with a 4-1 victory over their counterparts from Cedar Ridge. And we're going to see the boys this year, John, and it's going to be an interesting year for them. I think it's going to be a year where they're going to try to regain some of the respect that they had the previous couple of years. Last year was a admittedly disappointing year in terms of East Brunswick soccer, with the record being 15-5-3. And I think most other programs would be well pleased with that record. But for an East Brunswick team that has been to the Central Jersey Group Finals a number of times, the state finals a lot of times, a little bit of a disappointment. But they're hoping to regain that form. And I think today's 4-1 victory over a good Cedar Ridge team is the right way to start things.
Well, and we'll see the boys. And one good aspect, at least for Coach Hastings, is the fact that I believe two players who were academically ineligible last year are back.
Yes.
And so that has had to obviously had an impact and bolster that team.
I would like to know what the scoring is. We're going to try to get that before the beginning of the second half, because you're talking about Mike Venezia, who had 29 goals as a sophomore. And, of course, as you mentioned, was ineligible last year. He will probably, along with Danny Pepe, be the main scoring force for East Brunswick. A couple of other good players. Steve Brunengraber was not eligible last year, and he's back. You've got basically 4 goaltenders that you can choose from this year: Jim Devaney, Mike Koroleski, Tony Pucci, and Ronno Pileski. I don't know who made the varsity, and I think Dan was still trying to determine which of the players he was going to keep up on the varsity. The other ones naturally would play with the junior varsity, if not. Good, solid program, as is the girls' program that we're looking at tonight.
Well, East Brunswick's on the field. They've been waiting for Cedar Ridge to come out, and Cedar Ridge now has slowly moved it back onto the field. And they will have the ball to start off the second period. Again, East Brunswick scoring came at 15-17 of the first period on a shot by Leanne Schwartz. And that's all the scoring we've had thus far, and it's been pretty well balanced. It started off in favor of East Brunswick, dominating in the Cedar Ridge end of the field, but by the middle of the quarter, the period, and toward the end, it was a fairly balanced game. So we'll see if East Brunswick tries to assert itself more here in the second period.
Well, I think your observation up top, John, about Luke Hosa saying that East Brunswick was not getting a lot of scoring punch proved to be true in that first period. So they're looking to turn it around. Let's see what they do this period.
Here again, they're down in Cedar Ridge territory. Passing, yet no one is crossing for that goal.
There's a good shot by DeRujo.
And Robertson with another save.
Shot on a goal.
See if the Bears will take advantage of this. Jump on them again, quick and
nice,
early in the
nice
period.
Give and go right there. That's Leanne. She's passing it out to DeRujo.
In the middle.
Still should get a shot out of this.
Shot on goal, blocked by Robertson.
And that'll be a corner kick since it went off the goaltender out of bounds.
Shot taken by Lauren Korp.
And quite frankly, that's probably the best shot that East Brunswick has had since that goal. Who was that, John?
Lauren Korp.
Okay.
All right, here we go with the corner kick. DeRujo. Nice kick.
Still alive. And I believe they're calling it offside or something.
I believe one of the Bear players was in the goal, had a foot in the goal itself. So that will nullify the play.
Well, that's unfortunate. That was a goal. We'll see how
foot
big that
was
play
there.
turns.
Well, a foot was there. The ball wasn't there. If you are just joining us, I'm John Meggiolaro, being joined by Jim Allinder for the season opener of the East Brunswick High School Lady Bears. East Brunswick's facing Cedar Ridge, and they lead 1-0 here as we start action in the second period at J. Doyle Field. And Jim, this looks like a repeat of the first period when East Brunswick had the ball for about 6 minutes down in the Cedar Ridge end of the field. Finally coming up with the score by Leon Swartz.
Oh, there's a nice give and go here.
Throw in for East Brunswick.
Interesting. Number 30 for the Bears, Lainey Mitzner, was looking for the referee to point to the area where she was supposed to throw in.
Shot, a crossing, but a good defensive play by Cedar Ridge.
Bears will try to keep it in. This is good. This is good pressure here now, and it'll get a shot off.
Mitzner being battled on the outside. Cedar Ridge will throw it in.
Wonder what Lou Costa said to the girls in between periods, because they're certainly doing things a lot better. Schwartz would have had a clean shot right here.
Wide. So East Brunswick has increased the tempo somewhat. Yet they only lead 1-0. 16-17 to go here in the second period. And I think a handball was called. Looking for Mitzner on the wing.
And that'll be a goal, should be a goal, corner kick. Saying goal kick.
Corner kick. First game for us as well.
Pardon us while we try to get into a mid-season form here.
Mitzner, the corner shot out of bounds off East Brunswick. Mitzner keeps it alive. East Brunswick unable to do anything with it immediately.
Team speed for East Brunswick starting to show up now. There's a shot.
Leanne has it in front of the goal and just kicked away by number 5 for Cedar Ridge, Spinola. Great save there.
I started to mention, John, I think the team speed for East Brunswick is starting to show up. You find when a loose ball is out there, that usually a Lady Bear will get to the ball sooner than a Cedar Ridge player.
And apparently they want to set it up with Mitzner from the wing. They keep going back to her. It's off East Brunswick.
And a steal.
Stolen there. Nice pass. Swartz in the middle.
She can pass it if she wants.
And she does. DeRujo looking for Swartz inside. Can't find her. And they'll try it again.
Look at that teamwork by...
Good head. Robertson can't make the play. And a score for East Brunswick.
Try to get who that was.
I believe it was Kerry Myers, number 31, with the header.
Oh, that was a fine play. And it was a situation where East Brunswick continued to put the pressure, getting to the ball quicker than Cedar Ridge, and they simply just made that play. They made the opportunity.
You're right, Jim. I think the hustling and the speed is making a difference now. Cedar Ridge looks tired out there, and we're only in the second period. The goal by Kerry Myers with 14:07 to go here in the second period puts East Brunswick on top 2-0.
And so far, we have a carbon copy of the first period where East Brunswick came out fast.
Here we go with that point and throw.
And the referee gave the Cedar Ridge player the benefit of the doubt on that one. So each of East Brunswick's front line, 2 players have scored here. Kerry Myers this period, Leon Schwartz the first period.
There's Kerry Myers again. Cedar Ridge trying to clear.
And you notice East Brunswick is on top of it immediately. Still putting on the
nice
pressure.
Pass inside to Leon Schwartz. Back outside to Klein. Shot. Robertson makes the save.
And there's the difference in goaltenders. Robertson footed that ball out of bounds. East Brunswick gets it back immediately now. That's Nyen on the throw-in.
Schwartz looking for Klein in the middle. She's got it. Kicks it outside to Mitzner. Crosses. DeRujo misses on the cross.
But she was there.
Look at the hustle. Keep that ball down in Cedar Ridge territory. And a little elbowing going on.
DeRujo was called for an elbow on that.
Cedar Ridge very slow to get to the ball, letting the time just run down.
This might be the first offensive penetration for Cedar Ridge this period.
It is. Feller pushed off the ball. Feller. Wow. Schwartz pushed off the ball, rather.
Don't you wish we had her back? This looks like a good offensive setup, John.
Shot from the wing.
Oh, that was a good foot there.
Mitzner knocked away by Robertson, but it'll be a corner kick.
That was a left foot kick. Now, I don't know whether she's left or right, but I'll tell you what, that was from about 30 yards out. She nailed it. And she will be the one doing the corner. Kicking with her right. Still alive, John.
DeRujo crossing over to Schwartz.
And Leanne.
Back to DeRujo. Shot. Cross in front of the goal. There's Mitzner. And right to Robertson.
I'm really impressed with Lanny Mitzner. She kicks the ball equally well with the left or right foot.
No let up yet here for Cedar Ridge.
And she's free on the left side here if anybody can find her.
Long shot.
And East Brunswick is starting to pour shots on the goal, which I think is the way it ought to be. I think you keep on putting the pressure on the other team, and before you know it.
The law of averages, if nothing else. Cross over to Mitzner now.
And he's going to put it in the center.
She'll look for Schwartz. And Spinola kicks it back to Robertson.
Fortunately, not hard. I don't think she meant to kick it that hard.
We're inside of 10 minutes, and Cedar Ridge has only been down in East Brunswick territory once this period.
Oh, that's a fine kick there.
Robertson will come out.
That was Chris Farrell.
DeRujo looking for the middle again. Well, Jim, it looks like East Brunswick's quite strong on the wings with Mitzner and DeRujo.
They really are. That may be their main strength in terms of moving the ball forward. I think Kerry Myers and Leon Swartz simply just have to maintain their position in the middle and just wait for the ball to be passed.
Well, we'll see if Cedar Ridge can mount some sort of drive here, put some pressure on the Bears. Substitutions coming in for the Lady Cougars. Jennifer Hahn throwing it in. Knocked out by Mitzner. And it'll go back East Brunswick's way.
Now Lou's starting to substitute. That is Kerry Myers taking a rest. Really not a bad crowd tonight.
No,
John.
I'm quite pleased. Not a vocal crowd, but
I think they're rather relaxed and enjoying this game, feeling rather comfortable that their team has a 2-0 lead. And Cedar Ridge, for the most part, really hasn't had a good attack, but they're perhaps trying to do something here.
looking to put some sort of pressure on East Brunswick.
And no, you see how East Brunswick gets to the ball first?
Should be interesting in the second half, Jim. I think conditioning is going to be a factor.
Well, it could be in that East Brunswick, in addition to being in a well-conditioned club, Lou Cosa, the coach, substitutes freely. In fact, here comes another player that hasn't played tonight. I believe that's number 37 for the Bears, getting ready to come in.
That would be
Teresa Rossi.
Yeah, Teresa
so
Rossi.
You essentially have almost two clubs here for the Bears, and while the first unit gets a rest for the remainder of this period, they'll be fresh, and Cedar Ridge, for the most part, is not able to rest its players.
Leanne Swartz taking it down.
And that should be a corner kick.
And it will be. DeRujo will go to the corner. Mitzner comes out, and she'll be replaced by number 37, and that's Teresa Rossi. And Lori Samato is in, number 34. So, as you said, Jim, right over the right front of the goal, actually, passed right by, and East Brunswick couldn't catch up to it.
Just a header just missed there.
Good foot by DeRujo. Julie DeTorsi, number 42, picking up some numbers for you. And that's DeTorsi.
So except for DeRujo and Swartz right now, the offensive line is pretty new.
From the corner, Robertson with the save. Rossi trying to bend it around the pole. Interesting, Jim. It looks as though they put DeRujo in the middle.
That's exactly what they've done. She's not on the front, but she's at center half, and as a playmaker, she has good foot ability. Nice move.
Shot.
Oh,
Just wide.
That was almost in.
Taken by number 39, Amy Meckelberg.
And I'm not sure Amy meant that to be a shot on goal. I think it was a pass, but it almost turned out to be a goal.
4:20 left in the second period. East Brunswick on top, 2-0. Amy looking in the middle.
That is quite a foot.
That was Wendy Bykowitz.
Sophomore. Well, they just keep on coming, huh? This looks like a chance here.
Amy Meckelberg, shot again. Looking for the head, missed by Swartz. Good play, though, for East Brunswick.
And it looks like it went off a Cedar Ridge player, so we once again have a corner kick for the Bears.
And they'll move the Rougeau out there for the corner. Good foot.
Bang.
Amy Meckelberg trying with the head. Robertson is hit.
Yeah, okay. Little rough play in there.
So it'll go over to Cedar Ridge.
Can't touch the goaltender.
Well, this period for sure has belonged to East Brunswick. Schwartz looking.
Look at this pass work, huh?
Shot just wide again.
And
Teresa Rossi.
East Brunswick dominance is really starting to become apparent in this period.
And Jim, I think you're right. I think Lou Kosa kind of pulled the wool over our eyes a little bit. Kind of downplaying this team. They look quite impressive, at least in the second period. After a slow start, in all honesty.
So there goes DeRujo out, and Nyan goes back in. But Lou is playing them at different positions, John, giving his defenders an opportunity to try a little offense here.
I also think, too, Lou is still, he may be searching for some combinations. And why not? Right now you seem to have the edge. You're putting the pressure on the team. Cedar Ridge doesn't appear to be able to mount a serious threat.
Exactly.
And in game conditions, let's try it. And we're down to 1:45 here in the second period. Period moving quite quickly. Jim, you know, when you look at East Brunswick's records over the years, they've been conference champs from 1980 through 87, county champs as well, state champs in 86 and 87. Overall record, 180, 22, and 10. And last year's record, 23 and 2.
You know, I think if you took a look at those 22 losses, I would say half of them would be to teams like Westfield and teams up in Kearney.
Shot, Robertson off her chest, picks it up quickly.
Bottom line is East Brunswick has pretty much owned Middlesex County soccer for the last 5 years, and perhaps longer than that.
Down to 45 seconds now.
I don't think the 2-0 score is really indicative of how East Brunswick has enjoyed the edge, especially this period.
You're so right. Quite honestly, you would expect the score to be something like 4-0. East Brunswick surely having enough opportunities. And down to 10 seconds, see if they can mount something. Meckelberg trying to push it down, doing a nice job of it. There'll be a throw in 2 seconds, but that should be it. And the end of the first half here at East Brunswick High School. Lady Bears on top, 2-0. And Jim, as we said, it was an East Brunswick dominated second period after a rather so-so feeling out period, even though they did score. 2 scores coming for East Brunswick, one by Leanne Schwartz in the first period, the other by Kerry Myers.
Exactly, and I think the confidence, overall confidence the East Brunswick has in each other's players, the leadership that they look for with Leanne and Kerry Myers up front, really started to spell the difference in the second period. I think they developed a rhythm. Maybe it was the beginning of the season, jitters, something along those lines. But they got that out of their systems. There's more to a flow to the offense right now, and I think the Bears, with their conditioning and the fact that a lot of their players were not really hard pressed, probably is going to mean a continuation of this in the second half.
Okay, and we'll be back for that second half in just a moment. All right, Jim, we're about ready to go here with the second half of this game. East Brunswick Cedar Ridge, the Bears on top 2-0.
Officials not wasting any time here. The crowd just had a chance to stretch its legs, and we're about ready to go here now.
Bears in the dark green will be moving left to right as they start off the third period.
And let's see if the Lady Bears can have a continuation of that fine penetration. They were very aggressive in the second period. And I'm looking to see, it looks to me as though Luke Hosa has inserted his starting lineup. And that includes Carrie Myers and Leanne Swartz in the front. And then the wingers are Lainey Missner and Lauren DeRujo on the wings.
And quite honestly, as we mentioned during the second period, this game really has been all East Brunswick. Cedar Ridge has not mounted anything close to a serious threat in terms of scoring.
They really have only had about 2 shots on goal. And they, as you mentioned, John, weren't serious threats.
And Amy Gorney, this time she'll throw it downfield.
And Cedar Ridge got away with the handball on that one, but you see East Brunswick continues, so there's no whistle. There's the pressure. See how they get it to the outside?
DeRujo, good pass for Swartz. Just a little beyond her. Swartz comes out on Robertson.
And the Cedar Ridge fullback just a little lax on that push to the goaltender.
Good pass inside. Debbie Myers unable to take advantage of it. Kerry Myers, rather. Debbie Myers is a swimmer, isn't she?
There used to be.
And again, East Brunswick just controlling the ball in the Cedar Ridge territory.
Oh, that's a nice header there. You can see that East Brunswick is well schooled in techniques. You can see it by the way they use their left, right feet, the way they head the ball. They're just well schooled in everything.
Oh, a trip there on Mitzner.
And she'll get the shot, almost like a corner kick here.
Really, the only performer for Cedar Ridge has been number 6, and that's Geraldine Shea. She seems to be all over the field for the Cougars. But here's Swartz.
She's going to try to center it.
Puts a foot on it, but it's wide of the goal.
I'll correct myself. She took a shot. That's what we were saying. Leanne used to pass the ball. Really, there wasn't anybody open, so she saw the opening and shot it herself.
Rougeau with the head inside.
There's Shea, able to stave that one off temporarily.
Down into the corner where it'll be Cedar Ridge's ball. And a throw back to Robertson. Robertson not having the foot of an Amy Gorney. So East Brunswick continues to keep the ball in play down in Cedar Ridge's end.
Oh, that's a fine pass there. Just bounced off the foot. Look at the passing.
Good
here.
pass there to Mitzner on a head by Swartz.
And Leanne had the presence to just head the ball toward the goal. Wasn't able to get a lot on it. But I think East Brunswick, they sort of remind you of Hornets. They sort of just corral the ball and just converge on it.
They're just going to wear you down, Jim. I think that's going to be the nature of this team this year.
Right. Last year, typical scores, and this is not to say this won't be the case tonight yet, but you used to find scores of 7, 8-0 with shots on goal being 25-2. The defense, I think, is still very, very strong here. We're watching the offense, and I don't think there's any complaints right now.
Good pass down to Swartz. See what she does with it.
Gets
Nice
around her
turn.
defender. She'll have a
She's
shot.
got it. Her and Robertson for the corner, and Robertson makes the play.
And I'll tell you what, you couldn't draw that out any better than it was. I think the only thing that Leanne could have done was probably aim for a corner instead of shooting it right in the middle of the goal. Goaltender happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Third period action, 14:40 to go. East Brunswick on top, 2-0 against Cedar Ridge. Opening game for both teams. East Brunswick coming in as two-time defending state Group 4 champions. And they've done nothing to tarnish that image tonight. Over to Gorney. And she puts a foot on it.
And that's about all Cedar Ridge can do is get off a shot and hope for the best.
Oh,
Man,
push
it's a
there
push
from
right
behind by Hahn. Chris Farrell will take it. And Shea for Cedar Ridge.
She's the one.
Really the only bright spot tonight. Shot. Not much of one, wide of the goal.
Geraldine Shea, coming from a rather athletically inclined family. She, by the way, is also a fine, I believe, basketball player, but her older sister, Sue Shea, graduated about 4 years ago from Cedar Ridge and was an all-county performer in basketball.
Swartz. Good pass, and they're going to call offside.
Well, these are judgment calls.
Good pass from Amy Mecklenburg. And again, Cedar Ridge having difficulty penetrating that East Brunswick defense. Looks like a handball there, yes. Cedar Ridge just fighting to get some sort of momentum going.
Interesting situation there. The East Brunswick player overplayed the ball a little bit, and yet there was somebody to back her up every time.
And they'll send it back to Gorney. Offside, Cedar Ridge. So nothing's really going their way tonight as we get down to 11:38 in the third period. Very good crowd here tonight, even though it's a somewhat quiet crowd. East Brunswick on top 2-0. Interesting, Jim, when you go to soccer, to a soccer game in the shore area, it's much like a football game. A lot of yelling and screaming in the stands, you know, parents and students. East Brunswick's a very quiet crowd.
They are, and something we should note that I believe in the Shore, soccer is played in the springtime as a high school sport in the Shore Conference.
Good pass across. DeRujo got an opening. She puts the foot on it.
Probably a little too early. Perhaps in retrospect, if she had just dribbled around, she was still ahead. Might have had a closer in shot.
Now, just noticing and watching Luke Coase on the sideline, very composed. You know, granted, he does have a lead, but he is not a very animated coach on the sideline.
I think that's, and his attitude and style sort of transcends to the rest of the team. They never get, here's a shot, John.
Shot wide. That one by Swartz.
She probably has about 10 shots on her own tonight.
East Brunswick starting to open up now as East Brunswick makes some wholesale changes as well.
Let's see DeRujo going out. Looks like the midfielders, Randy Klein and Lauren Korf, are taking a brief rest.
Samano's in. And I'm trying to pick up some of the numbers. Randy Winter is in, number 46.
Quite frankly, East Brunswick doesn't lose anything by these replacements. We noted in the second quarter, when a lot of changes were made, East Brunswick continued the pressure.
And they continue to have the ball deep in Cedar Ridge territory. And they call a push on East Brunswick, so Cedar Ridge will take over.
Oh, here's perhaps a shot.
Cedar Ridge not knowing what to do once the ball is down at that end. And we're not disparaging the Cedar Ridge team. This is a tough opening game for them. The girls have played quite hard and are trying their best. East Brunswick's a tough team, and defensively, it's a tough team to get by. Winter, Meckelberg, Myers now. Shot downward toward the goal. Robertson will field it. Samato.
East Brunswick still holding to a comfortable 2-0 lead, John.
Appears it's going to be plenty for this game.
This might be a break here.
Nice play. Meckelberg just not able to get enough on it. Good hustle, though, by East Brunswick. Julie DeTursi, number 42.
And Meckelberg is relentless. She just kind of sticks in there. Tries to make a nuisance of herself. And here you have, again, some defenders normally on the first unit playing offense. I see Nyan is on the front line, not on the front line, in midfield now, whereas normally she would play a sweeper position.
And it'll go back to Gorney. Inside of 8 minutes. Third period here at East Brunswick's J. Doyle Field.
Oh, nice heads-up play there. And East Brunswick has somebody out front
Carrie
if they
Myers
want.
trying to cross it over.
Good hustle there. Good hustle.
Good pass inside. Can Myers get to it? She has it.
She'll have a shot.
Shot right at Robertson and no follow-up.
And East Brunswick should continue the pressure. That's Samato there.
Pass out to Samato. She trying to cross it over, partially blocked by Cedar Ridge.
A little bit of a collision. Oh, that's a nice kick.
Cleared out by Chris Farrell.
And East Brunswick is on top of it again.
Meggiolaro going after it. Nice play.
And they're going to have a shot.
Shot in
here.
front of the goal, just over the head of Myers.
And I think Cedar Ridge has to feel a little beleaguered by all the pressure that they're receiving on defense. One of the few times that the defense has touched the ball this half.
And again,
Another
East
nice
Brunswick.
lead pass to the wing.
Rossi,
Oh,
right in front is Myers, shot. Robertson makes the save.
And that was a nice one. That was one of the more difficult saves that Robertson has had to make. Nice, neat lead pass by Nyan, John. A lead pass by Nyan. Okay. Another shot on goal.
It's easy for you to say. Down to 4 minutes, 10 seconds, third period. And Jim, you got to have, you know, that feeling that East Brunswick's going to put one in here sooner or later.
I think it's just a matter of time, John. They do look like they really want to score more goals. Good ball control.
Good hustle. Chris Farrell. Nice pass downfield. A little bit ahead of Myers, but still East Brunswick controls. And that's the nature of this game, controlling that ball, controlling the tempo. And there's going to be a push against Cedar Ridge.
Right, East Brunswick should have a shot right there. And they will set up. Swartz, is, I believe, has been out for a while, John, has she not?
And she's back in there.
Okay.
No, I think you're right, Jim. I don't see her. You're right.
For about the last 5 minutes, and you notice that East Brunswick still attacks as well with other players in.
Wendy Bykowitz coming in. Placing, I believe that's
Chris Farrell
Chris
taking
Farrell,
a rest.
right.
She's the starting midfielder.
a lot of pressure being placed on Robertson down in that Cedar Ridge goal.
And I think Cedar Ridge is doing all it can just to keep the ball out of there. Really not exhibiting any possibility of ball control. East Brunswick just comes right back with it.
Good throw in. Robertson will field it, boot it out of there.
And the Cedar Ridge forward took a shot off the shin there.
Rossi brings it back in. Meggiolaro back out into the corner for Rossi. Nice play. Back into the middle. Meggiolaro just kept out by Cedar Ridge. Jim, it's like how much of the bleeding can you stop?
Really.
Down to 57 seconds. And a substitute for Cedar Ridge. His time is held up.
Right there. The official points to the spot.
.30 seconds to go, third period. Gorney. And then the clock will count down, 5 seconds to go. And that should basically be it for the third period here at East Brunswick High School. Lady Bears on top, 2-0.
Cedar Ridge with a few meager shots on goal to end the period, but by and large, John, this was again a carbon copy of the second period where East Brunswick continued to put a lot of pressure, getting to the ball before Cedar Ridge did and creating its own opportunities. Didn't score any goals that period, but nonetheless exhibited the type of offensive pressure that they're going to need. And I think as they keep that up, that's when they're going to start to convert opportunities, because as long as you keep the pressure up, then the opportunities are going to arise. And it's just a matter of just converting. I think Leanne Swartz had a nice opportunity to score. Unfortunately, she shot it right dead center. The goaltender was right in the middle there. If she had gone for a corner, she probably would have had an easy goal. I think there was another opportunity. I can't remember the player who shot it, but Karen Robertson, the Cedar Ridge goaltender, had to come up with a good save to prevent a goal there. So East Brunswick is doing what it wants to do. It's putting the pressure on, and they have to be quite happy with their performance thus far.
I agree, Jim, and I think too it's got to be pleasing for Lou Cosa to see Leanne Swartz and Kerry Myers kind of dominating that middle, as well as the strong play from Mitzner and DeRujo on the wings. Not to mention Randy Klein and the rest in the middle. But first game of the season, there's a lot of bugs that have to be worked out. They need to get that one, if you will, under their belts. And I think we've seen some experimenting by Lou in terms of some different combinations, and it seems to be working. We'll see what the fourth quarter brings. I would think that Coach Cosa would want them to come out, continue the pressure, and see if, in fact, they could put on another goal.
Okay. Looks like we're taking more time than we took at halftime to get the fourth quarter started.
That halftime did come upon us rather quickly.
Yeah, we were almost caught. And you see Lou Cosa there talking to his team. Lou, by the way, made a very thoughtful decision to step down as baseball coach this year. We started to say going to be some changes in the East Brunswick coaching staff this season. Frank Knoppenberger will be looking for a basketball coach to replace himself. Sal Picarillo stepped down as coach of the girls basketball team. And I believe the Bears are also looking for a coach to replace departed Dr. Ken Burnett for golf.
Mm-hmm.
And as we mentioned, Lou is not going to be coaching the baseball team this spring. So there's 4 vacancies. Knoppenberger has them as top priorities. And I believe, John, the first action that we're going to see on Channel 8 this year is going to be a contest that's going to be played next Monday night here at J. Doyle Field. The Bears will host Bishop R, which is not a Red Division opponent, but nonetheless will probably field a quality team. And knowing Bishop R, a lot of players from that team come from East Brunswick, and we'll have to see if we can find out if the Trojans will be fielding anybody from that reside in East Brunswick. We want to make sure we're we get those names for you. So that's going to be the first boys action.
First boys action Monday night, September 19th here at J. Doyle Field, and we look forward to it. Again, we mentioned that the boys won today to open their season, 4-1 over Cedar Ridge. And again, East Brunswick out early, waiting for the Lady Cougars to come out for this fourth and final period. They're on top 2-0. Again, to recap the scoring, Leanne Swartz opened it up in the first period for East Brunswick at the 15-17 mark with a goal. And then in the second period, East Brunswick added to that score when Kerry Myers headed one in with 14:07 to go in that period. So all the scoring coming in the first half. Despite East Brunswick's constant pressure there in the third period, they came up empty. So we'll start this, the fourth and final period, opening night, if you will, here at J. Doyle Field. Lady Bears against Cedar Ridge, looking to start off on a high note as they defend their Group 4 state championship, as well as their county championship.
And Cedar Ridge taking its time coming out onto the field.
I think you're right, Jim. This was longer than halftime.
You know, with the score being 2-0, I'm not so sure that Cedar Ridge isn't rather proud of the fact that they've kept the score down. As we had noted before, the East Brunswick team used to being ahead by about 5, 6 to 7-0 scores and already making a lot of wholesale changes. So in a way, maybe a little bit of a moral victory for Cedar Ridge tonight, but certainly East Brunswick is playing a good game. I think they're playing the way they want to play.
Well, I could be wrong, Jim, but I think we covered a game last year where East Brunswick just thrashed Cedar Ridge 8-0 or something to that nature. So you might be right. 2-0 doesn't look so bad. And again, it's the first game of the season. You know, Lou Cosa told us that he thought Cedar Ridge was a much improved team over last year. And to some degree, they've shown that. And it's not due to a lack of hustle on the part of Cedar Ridge. They just don't have the talent to match up with East Brunswick, quite honestly.
Okay, pretty much the starting lineup in for the Lady Bears, and so that includes Myers and Swartz in the front line, with Mitzner, Klein, Korf, and the Rougeau in the middle, and the defense being Jan, Farrell, Bishop, Gillahan, Amy Gorney in goal. So there's your basic lineup, and let's see if this contingent can score a couple more before it's over.
Well, too, I don't think Lou Cosa is that comfortable 2-0. We've seen it in the past where one goal could change the tempo and momentum of a game. Mitzner sending it down. Klein in the middle. Out to Mitzner. She's got the wing. She's going to take it. She crosses over. Good pass inside and goal. I think that's Amy Meckelberg.
That's Meckelberg on that shot, and she was right there. Didn't take long, John.
Nope.
18:55 remaining. So a minute and 5 seconds goes by. And that's exactly what East Brunswick has been doing the entire second half, or actually since the beginning of the second period.
Right.
Putting the pressure on, centering the ball. This time, Amy Meckelberg was there for an easy left foot right to the left-hand corner of the goal.
Great pass by Lainey Mitzner. Crossing it over, Meckelberg coming in and putting the foot right into the corner of the goal, putting the ball rather. And East Brunswick on top now 3-0. New goalie in for East Brunswick.
And unfortunately, goaltenders do not have numbers, so we don't know for sure who that might be.
Jim, I think it's Jody Casero.
Okay.
Since on my program, she is the only other goalie listed. And I believe Jody moved from a defensive position back to the goal last year.
Okay.
So Amy Gorney doing a fine job to start off the season. Had a rather easy night of it, quite honestly.
She did.
And we'll see if Jody is tested at all. I kind of doubt it.
And here comes the pressure. This is Swartz.
From the corner.
Look at her speed.
Shot over the goal. Boy, if she kept that down just a little bit, Jim, she would have had another.
Exactly. Now that ball bounced off the football goal post. It would have gone out, obviously, so that's why a goal kick is awarded. Look at the pressure.
It's been the whole game, quite honestly. Good pass outside.
There's Gillihan.
Mitzner
Excuse me,
inside.
you're right. Look at that pass.
Mitzner again, shot. Meckelberg in front once again.
And I guess this is the East Brunswick that we were all expecting to see.
Well, they were a little tentative the opening period. And I think they're starting to feel comfortable with one another and back into the swing of the season.
Good passing here.
Shot up front. Can Swartz get to it?
Look at her speed.
Robinson comes out.
She's quick. Very deceptive.
Robinson appears to be hurt. Slow to get up.
Yeah, okay. I think when Leanne went for the ball, she might have nailed Karen Robertson. And you see there
her ankle, it appears to be.
Yeah, it looks like her ankle.
Actually, she's done a rather fine job tonight, considering the pressure that's been placed on her in that position.
East Brunswick trainer Phil Hostler taking a look at that ankle.
Jim, you would know better than I. Does Phil travel with the soccer team at away games as well?
I wish I could answer that, but I can't. My feeling, understanding the way things work, is athletic trainers cannot spread themselves too thin. There's really usually a sort of athletic trainer that's sponsored by the host club, and they will, for sports such as soccer and baseball, perhaps. I don't want to call them minor sports, or I'll get attacked. But for a football game, I believe the respective trainers will travel with the clubs.
Robertson is up on her feet, though, limping. And a replacement will be needed.
All right, she, yeah, it looks like Leanne apparently just stepped on her ankle.
I don't see anyone getting ready over on the Cedar Ridge side.
Well, quite frankly, when I counted, there was about 6 replacements. So they really don't have all that many people. It could be that one of the other players will step in goal.
We're searching the program to see if, in fact, there is a second goalie for Cedar Ridge. And at least in terms of what we have before us, we don't see anyone identified as a goalie other than Robertson. So we'll see who comes out to take that position. In the meantime, if I could ask Dave, our cameraman, to swing the camera down to Jody Casero at the East Brunswick end. The life of a goalie sometimes is rather a long and isolated life.
Yeah, there's a lot of space between her and the rest of the players.
There's Jody. She's raising her hand to let everyone know she's still with us.
All right, the goalie jersey is being put on by, I believe, number 14.
And that would be Jody Good.
Right. And she was one of the few offensive sparks, along with Geraldine Shea. So I think Cedar Ridge is sacrificing some offensive output, what little there was of it.
Well, we have 16:29 to go here in the game. East Brunswick on top 3-0. And a change in goalie with Jody Good coming in, who is actually a sweeper, will now play the goalie position. I guess you don't get any warm-ups in soccer. So we'll see. Cedar Ridge puts the ball back in play. And we'll see how Jody Good handles her first bit of action.
And she certainly will get a shot on her.
And I'm sure the East Brunswick front line is dying to get that ball in an open area and having a shot at Ms. Good. Well, Cedar Ridge in East Brunswick territory. Shot down. Jody Casero, first play of the evening. Picks it up, moves it out to Mitzner. Leanne Schwartz.
Open field. And
She's got it.
Somebody's open in the middle.
Here's the shot, and she pushes it to the left of the goal.
Right, and I would credit number 18 for Cedar Ridge. That'd be Janet Brooks, who was just able to get a little piece of that ball, because I think Leon had a good shot on goal. Cheerleaders still going at it, John.
More action with them than there's been in this game, quite honestly. A very slow game for soccer. Usually the ball's placed right down and they're moving. And I would say primarily it's been on the part of Cedar Ridge. Pass inside. Woo.
Yeah.
Is that Robertson? She's back. I believe that's her.
You're right. The reason why I was checking myself is because all of a sudden I saw Jody Good, number 14, back on the field, and I was saying, well, wait a minute now. Did we miss something here? And I think
they snuck her in.
They snuck her back in, and you notice she's limping. Noticeably limping.
Well, I have to wonder why they would put her back in, quite honestly, Jim. Cedar Ridge has not mounted any type of offense to make this game close. The ground is getting wet with the moisture, and she's working on a very sore and probably at this point weak ankle. Cedar Ridge not even attacking now in defense. They just keep retreating back.
And there's DeRujo. She's been rather quiet this half.
Shot.
Nice
cross
pass.
rather inside. East Brunswick unable to do anything with it though.
Yet.
That was Pam Quadanetz in there, number 43 for East Brunswick. Senior striker. I think this is one of the slowest periods I've ever witnessed in soccer.
And I believe that was Debbie Levine that is in the contest. Debbie being a quality basketball player.
Debbie wearing number 48. East Brunswick Cedar Ridge exchanging throw-ins. Action has slowed down considerably. Seems after that injury to Robertson, girls got somewhat cold out there.
A lot of whistles, John. And Levine getting an opportunity at least to try some throw-ins here. And there it goes again. This is the fourth throw-in by Debbie Levine in the last minute, I believe.
She's going to be a tired young lady. Some kids don't have 4 throw-ins in a season.
Shall we go for 5 here? Okay. Cedar Ridge ball.
Cedar Ridge trying to get something going, at least get on the scoreboard. But it's been this way all night for them. As we're inside 10 minutes now left in the game. Lady Bears on top, 3-0. Opening game of the 1988 season.
Defense moves it ahead. And John, I think East Brunswick's offense is just slacked off a bit. I think they're relaxed. They really, well, here they come now. But I don't think they really feel compelled to put, oh, we have a break here perhaps.
Robertson coming out.
And I'm sure she's very glad she didn't get nailed again.
Good play by DeRujo.
But there's just not the same intensity that that the Bears had in the second and third periods.
Whistle.
Not sure what that was. Really could have been a continuation of play there if the referee wanted to.
Corner kick. I think this may only be the second corner kick for Cedar Ridge this evening.
Certainly not a lot. And Jody Good takes her time. Walking over. Meanwhile, the clock ticks away.
Down to 7:50 left in this game. Just a gorgeous evening out here. We mentioned
really
that before, but I imagine for the players, you couldn't ask for a better night.
East Brunswick continues to have, in my mind, one of the nicest athletic complexes in the state of New Jersey. Beautiful track facility, field, as we've mentioned before, well kept, and a lot of athletic contests are played on this field.
Yeah, when you consider the amount of play this field takes with boys soccer, girls soccer, and football, and when we talk about football, we not only talk about varsity, but JV as well. So there are 4 teams that use this field continuously throughout the season. 6:45 to go, fourth quarter. East Brunswick on top, 3-0 against Cedar Ridge. First game of the '88 season, and it looks like East Brunswick's going to start off where they left off. I don't know offhand, Jim, but is there a consecutive win streak here at stake, or?
The Bears had a 33-game winning streak last year that was snapped by Westfield, and I believe the Bears also lost another game that year. And so I believe off of last season there may have been about 5 or 6 games in which East Brunswick had beaten their opponents, and so obviously that's where the streak would start from that point. But the 33-match streak was broken last year.
Jody Casero coming out for her, I think, second play of the evening, replacing Amy Gorney. And a push.
Called on Cedar Ridge.
5:35 to go. It's my understanding, Jim, that East Brunswick will not play many out-of-conference games this year.
Well, John, from my understanding also, there is a rule now in the conference where they have to play a number of teams, not only in their own division, but also some crossovers. And that really prohibits a number of out-of-conference games. I'm not sure that makes Lou a little happy about that because we mentioned before, the real good competition is outside the GMC, quite frankly, playing the Westfields and Carneys and teams of that caliber.
And that's where you do get the true test of what your team is made of. And I think that's why Lou has enjoyed those games over the years. And a number of substitutions being made. Janine O'Brien coming in. She's a sophomore fullback, number 24. Robertson flubs it and has to fall on top of it.
And that ankle's still bothering her.
And while we probably did not call everyone on the Bears roster, my guess is Lou has played everyone this evening.
Pretty much, except for the young lady limping down there on crutches.
East Brunswick with an opportunity.
That's Levine trying to center the ball.
3.5 minutes to go now in the game. Shea has played a very good game for Cedar Ridge. Shot wide. Taken by number 42, Julie DeTursi, a junior.
And some more replacements for the Bears. I think Lou is taking our last of her remaining starters out. That's, I believe, Lauren Korf that just left the field.
Jim, just taking a quick calculation. According to the roster that we have in front of us, East Brunswick has 12 seniors on the team this year, but 16 juniors and sophomores.
Exactly.
So there's that depth and tradition, if you will.
Oh, it should continue. There's no doubt about it.
Again, we mentioned the one-loss record at East Brunswick for the girls program is 180 wins, 22 losses, and 10 ties.
And that's under Lou Cosa.
Yes.
Has there ever been an other coach? I don't think there has.
I don't believe so. Lou, if those are who may not be familiar with the soccer program here at East Brunswick, was once one of the coaches for the boys team. Transferred over when the girls program came into existence.
Probably around 77, 78.
Yeah, about then. And no one, I don't believe, can criticize the job that gentleman has done.
Easily considered one of the top girls soccer coaches in the state.
We're down to 1:20 as the ball just moves back and forth between midfield. East Brunswick will come away with their first victory of 1988. First victory in the GMC.
Katie Gillihan getting a hand from the crowd for her job.
Let me just recap the scoring for you. Leanne Swartz scored in the first period, make it 1-0 East Brunswick. Kerry Myers in the second period, making it 2-0. And Amy Mecklenburg in the fourth period to make it 3-0. And that's where we stand now as we go down to 20 seconds. And that should just about do it. Down to 10. Good start for the Lady Bears.
And there you have it, John.
And that's it. East Brunswick notches their first victory, 1988, with a 3-0 victory over Cedar Ridge. And you see the girls congratulating one another. So, Jim, a rather easy victory for East Brunswick as they open the season, 3-0 over Cedar Ridge. But as you said, the score is really not indicative of the style of play that we saw tonight.
Exactly. I believe that Lucosa has to be very pleased with the way the team performed tonight. They did the things that they needed to do to get the offensive punch. I have to be very pleased with the way Leanne Schwartz and Kerry Myers played in the middle, and Lauren DeRuggio played on one of the wingers. Steady defense, and I think that's one thing that we didn't talk about during the course of the game that we should mention. True, Cedar Ridge did not mount a good attack tonight, but I think you're going to find that very, very few teams are going to score on East Brunswick this year, and that may prove to be very important when the Bears go up against some of the better teams that they're going to play this year. They're not going to get the same type of scoring that they had last year. You're not going to see the 7-0 games, but you may see, as we saw tonight, a 3-0 game, that being a typical game this year. And with wholesale substitutions, the conditioning factor, East Brunswick should be in a good position to make another good challenge for the championship this year.
Well, I think it's going to be an exciting year for the Lady Bears. We're glad to be part of it, and it was great to be out here to start the 1988 season with a 3-0 victory over Cedar Ridge. So for Jim Allinder, I'm John Meggiolaro saying thanks for being with us.